DOT's out to get you guys. They're sitting at the way station just waiting for you to roll by. Let's talk about the DOT and scales. Here we go. Facebook, everybody's favorite media, right? Facebook, YouTube, whatever. There's always guys on there saying, hey, watch out, guys. The DOT's pulling over all the hot shots at this scale house on I-80 and somewhere, or something like that. Or, you have guys talking, hey, is it okay if I just blow past the scales? Or what happens if I do this? Or other guys saying, I never stop at scales. Okay. Or, oh, I got inspected. And you see these videos and the guy's DOT officer's just out to get me. Okay. So you guys are in the trucking business, whether you're in semis, hot shot, you're doing some specialty, you are in a very, very, very regulated business, okay? Overregulated by any measure, completely overregulated. But they're there. Those are the regulations, okay? And if you are going to actively have a business, you need to abide by those regulations, okay? So when I see videos and I see Facebook posts and things like that, they're going, oh man, DOT got me, they nailed me for my tires. And you take a look at the tires and there's threads showing. DOT didn't get you, man, you got you, okay? Or, oh man, DOT got me because the breakaway on my trailer brakes, it doesn't work. Well, when was the last time you checked them, And I'm not trying to be a jerk here, guys, but, at whatever weight category you're running at, whether you're in a non-CDL hotshot, CDL, you're in a semi, you're a heavy haul, whatever, your brakes, your tires, your suspension, that's what's keeping you and everybody else on the road safe. It's important. Even without DOT, you should be keeping your tires up to spec. You should be keeping your brakes up to spec. You guys that are losing lug nuts and stuff like that, it happens, but not really. You know what I mean? It happens because the lug nuts were under tightened, they were over tightened, and you broke the studs. And I'm not talking about those Dodges with the faulty, lugs themselves that are busting off and stuff like that. I'm just talking about these other things. It doesn't take much to check the lights in your truck. When you're done at the end of the day and it's dark outside, or it's early in the morning and it's dark outside, it's super easy to see if your lights are working. Turn them on and walk around your truck. When you're going to get fuel, check it out. Something simple like that. So, okay, you should be running legal. You should be running safe. But here's something else you guys need to consider. Guys are always talking about, oh man, I got yanked in for an inspection. You know what? Good. Okay, because you're going to pass, right? You got all your paperwork legal, your truck is legal, everything's right. Okay, there's no problem. There's no problem. And here's what happened. As you get your inspections in, your CSA score gets better. Okay, you want your score to be as low as possible, a 0 effectively. So if you can get out there and you're starting a new business and you can get inspected, right, and you have a 100% pass rate, you have effectively a 0 on the CSA score. That's the best you can possibly get, or maybe it's a 1. I'm not sure. Don't hold me to that one, okay? But the thing is let's say you got that first one, all right? And then you go through another one and they put you out of service because you got a headlight out, something stupid like that, or worse, or whatever. Your CSA score just went to 50, all right? Because it's half. So the whole idea, realistically, is you want to get inspected, okay? You want to make sure your truck is, is solid. Make sure it's, looks good as best as it can, because that does help. Make sure everything works. Make sure your washer fluid is full. So when they say hit your wipers, you can do that. Make sure your truck is right. And if you do that, you will not have problems passing inspection. Of course, your cargo has to be strapped properly, loaded properly, things like that. But you want to get those, okay? Because at some point in time, you're going to do your walk around, your lights are going to work. And then you're going to be rolling down the road and a light is going to go out, because it has to fail sometime. And Mr. Friendly DOT police officer man is going to see that, and he's going to pull you over, he's going to pull you in, and he goes, you got a light out, okay? Now, they don't have to put you out of service if you have a new light and you can change it. They have the option. They can go, hey, can you take care of that? Yeah, I'll take care of it right now. Okay. Some will, some won't, okay? If you don't have a light and you can't fix this, okay, well, there's your violation. You know, you didn't do anything wrong. You did your pre-trips, you checked everything, but at some point in time, a light went out. It happens. It's going to happen to everybody. The thing is if you've never been inspected, or you've only been inspected one time, and you have a light out, and that's a ding, your CSA just went to 50. But if you've had 10 good inspections, okay, your CSA score will go to about 9, all right, which is nothing. National average on a lot of things about 25. You know, it varies for which section of the CSA score you're actually looking at. So why is that important? When your CSA score gets to a certain point, you can go to, I believe it's a provisional status or something like that, or probational status, or whatever it is with the FMCSA, meaning that you are super close from being put out of business. Okay, this is where hiring on owner-operators and things like that, that's part of the risk that the company with the MC is taking, because they can get put out of business with a couple bad inspections, depending on how many they had. There's a risk involved with that. In addition to that, it can affect and will affect your insurance prices. Okay, they look on there and say, hey, this guy's running an unsafe operation. They can jack up your rates, or they can refuse your insurance altogether. And if you can't get insurance, you are out of business. All right. So scale houses. If you guys want to avoid scale houses, here's what you do. Get pre-pass, okay? Or you can do drive-wise. I like pre-pass because it works pretty much just as well as drive-wise. You know, they're sisters of each other, whatever. But pre-pass, you can also get their elite pass, which acts as your tollway thing, and you get anywhere from 0 to 25% off of different tolls, so it saves you money. At the very least, it pays the 20 bucks or whatever it is to have the subscription. So I like pre-pass, right? And as you're rolling through the tolls, you know, your CSA score will affect how often you get pulled in. Pre-pass or not, if you have a bad CSA score, you're going to get pulled in because it checks your MC number based off your plate, and bang, you're in, or you're not in. Okay, so if you want to blow past tolls, get your CSA score up, and get pre-pass, get drive-wise, get them both. I don't know. And then you don't have to worry about the scales nearly as much. Yes, you will still get directed in at certain scales. They do it to everybody. Okay, it is what it is. I do not recommend ever blowing past the scale. Okay, because if you ever want to invite a very thorough inspection, it's when Mr. Friendly DOT officer is sitting on the side of the road there at the scale, and he's got his thing that says, yeah, this truck is clear, this truck is not clear, because they got to know who to chase. Some guy might have pre-pass, some guy might not. Well, that guy that doesn't have pre-pass, or worse yet, has a pre-pass and he got told to go in, and screw it, I'm blowing past, I'm going to take my chances. They'll come get you. Okay, not every time, probably 8 out of 10 times, or maybe 98 out of 100 times, I don't know, you're gonna get away with it. Okay, but that time you don't, it's gonna hurt. Okay, it's gonna hurt bad. Okay, for the most part, DOT, if they want to, you can take a brand new truck, they can probably find something. Okay, and here's the other thing too. Yes, guys, you piss them off and they can be rather liberal with interpretation of rules. Okay, they can flat out do what they want if they want to. Okay, now can they get away with it? Well, that depends. Can you prove them wrong in court? Can you go through and, you know, challenge it? Yeah, you can try. Are you going to win? Are you going to have the time? You know, so I'm going to tell you this. I've been inspected, I've only been doing this a year and a half, and I've been inspected me personally, only 3 times, you know, maybe 4, I can't remember, but only 3 times. And I'll tell you what, since I've been in my new truck, which is a year now, I actually stopped and asked to get inspected. And I was told, no, we're on busy. No, we're on lunch. No, we're not actually doing inspections today. No, we don't do inspections when you're doing it. It took me 10.5 months to finally get an inspection. I pulled into a weigh station that was a little bit funky. There were 2 cops sitting there, and I didn't know if I was supposed to stop or not. So I rolled down the window, talked to them, and they said, no, you're good if we don't wave you in. And I said, well, do you guys have time to do an inspection? He's like, what? You know, do you have time? He's like, are you sure? Yeah, I'm sure. Cool dude, you know. And of those 3 times, every single officer has been very cool. The other inspection that we had was when my driver got put out of service because he was 400 pounds overweight, being non-CDL. That cop was cool too. He wasn't being a jerk. My driver rolled through the scales. He weighed 26.4. you know, cops not being a jerk by putting you out of service. You screwed up. You didn't scale it properly. Okay, it happens. You know, and at that point in time, I had only had, I think, the 2 inspections. So, you know, when I got put out of service, it put my CSA score up to like 33 or whatever the number was, which freaked me the hell out. So yeah, I'm happy I went and I got the other inspection, and then it brings that, you know, score down to a 20 or a 15, whatever the numbers are. You know, it doesn't matter. But the point is I want to get inspected again. Okay, now you're always taking a chance getting inspected, but if you do your work, okay, you do your pre-trips, your truck's in good condition, paperwork's correct, as everything should be. This is a business. This isn't, you know, Billy Bob's got a pickup truck and or an old semi, and we're going to sneak, you know, on the back roads and try to make some money. And if you're doing that, that's you, whatever. No, if you're doing it as a business, treat it as a legitimate business. There are rules, there are regulations, you know, just follow it. Keep your truck safe, keep your drivers safe, keep yourself safe, keep everybody else safe on the road. So, all right, to wrap it up, guys, scales aren't bad, DOT's not bad. Treat them with respect. Show up with a respectable vehicle. Show that you are trying to respect the rules and the regulations. If you have questions, I've asked all of the DOT officers. I've always had a little bit of a question. I had a DOT officer, when I got inspected, by the way, I was on paper logs. Believe it or not. I'm coming back from Cali. My ELD stopped working. Had a bad wire up by the engine compartment where it was getting power. I'm on paper logs. Okay. The cop did not ask to see my logs, but I said, hey, how are you with paper logs? And I pulled out my paper. I said, yeah, my ELD's not working. He went over the logs with me. He didn't go, you know, what the hell or anything like that. He's like, yeah, that's fine, because it's legal, you know? So ask them questions. You know, if you have a question, you can pull into the scale house and say, dude, I've got a question. I don't want to get nailed for it. Can you answer this? Can you tell me, is this right? And I'm willing to bet you lunch and dinner, if it's wrong, they will give you the opportunity to correct it without dinging you, because you're showing the respect of trying to do things the correct way. So anyway, guys, be safe out there as always. And as always, like, subscribe. If you don't like it, you know, don't hit the thumbs down, but leave me a comment. Tell me, you know, why you don't like it. If you think I'm wrong, just tell me why I'm wrong. Give me a reason that I'm wrong. Maybe I can learn something, or maybe I can debate what you're saying a little bit and say, hey, no, that's not quite right. I'm here to learn and help other people learn, help other people to succeed, grow their own businesses and do well. So guys, be safe out there, have fun, good luck in this new 2023 that we're in, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.